Welcome to Love, Life, and Marriage with The Woods. I am Saiko.
And I'm Sharon.
And welcome to our channel. Please do the following. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell at the bottom of this video. That way, when we go live or post any videos or content, you'll be one of the first ones to view and to watch those videos, which we really appreciate. Also, if you like to reach out to us, email information is at the bottom of the screen. You'd like to support the ministry financially, we have the options to do so available for you also at the bottom of the screen. What else are we missing? Anything else we're missing before we get to our part 3 of the series?
It's part 3. I thought it was part 2.
Part 3.
Did you say the merchandise?
We want to cover the merchandise? Yes. BCV.
Yes. TC?
BCV on our Teespring link. That's what happens when you have people behind the camera and on the side of you trying to help you and coach you in. But anyway, you know what they are. Teespring, BCV gear, hats, shirts, hoodies, things of that nature. You shouldn't be wearing a hoodie right now. It's too hot here in Texas or other parts of these southern states. But anyway, but you can get those with the link below when the wintertime comes, and we definitely appreciate that. Also, I appreciate those of you who have been supporting our ministry financially. We do really thank you so much for that. We appreciate the support, appreciate the words of encouragement, emails, and things of that nature. We also appreciate the comments that you all leave in our videos as well. Thank you so very much. And we do appreciate the comments you all have been leaving in these past 2 videos that we have done. Keep them coming. We definitely appreciate it, even though we know some of y'all may be feeling some kind of way since we're talking about you women, you wives. And we're almost done, but we're not done yet, but we're almost done. And then we get to the men, because you know y'all looking forward to that. Y'all gonna probably be sharing and tagging people once we, start getting to the men. So, but until then, these videos, we hope and pray you take it in the spirit that has been given, because these are for you wives that
it's for your edification.
Yes, it's for you wives that are destroying and tearing down your household. So it's dedicated to you. But anyway, so we're in part 3. We've covered 6 ways that wives can tear down their household. And number 1 was be unsubmissive. Number 2
is be unsupportive.
3 was be uncontrollable. 4
is be unyielding.
5 was be unreliable. And we covered all these different topics and different areas that you can do that. So hopefully you've been following along with us. And number 6,
be unapproachable.
And now we are in part 3, and we're covering number 7, which is be unfaithful. Be unfaithful. We know that unfaithfulness, adultery, going outside of your marriage doesn't just land on just the men. There are women out there as well that can be unfaithful. And we already know that some of you are already thinking just sexually. That's just beside that. That's not the only way a woman can be unfaithful in their marriage and in their covenant. But we want to cover some things with that, because we do believe that these are some areas that are not always discussed in the body, and that are always discussed amongst Christians, and particularly among Christian women. It always seems to me it's always the man. Unfaithful. He cheated on me. He did this. He did that. Well, it goes both ways as well too. Being unfaithful in the marriage vows and your marriage covenant, it definitely can have devastating effects. But it can also be forgiven, and we have seen and have witnessed couples that have gone through those things, unfortunately, and God has restored their marriage. And we thank God. And it's just another testament of His grace and His faithfulness to people when they are able to work through those things and go on and move on, and never to be brought up again. And so we do want to tell people that there is hope in that, but we also want to caution those of you that may even find yourselves involved in relationships that you know are not what God has called you to be involved in, especially when you are married and you are in a covenant relationship with your spouse. And so we want to talk about these things. So be unfaithful. You want to destroy your marriage, you want to tear it down, you want to tear down your house, that's one way to do it, especially if you're unrepentant.
Yep.
Especially if you're unrepentant. You want to talk about that a little bit? You want to
okay,
go ahead.
I had some things that popped up in my head. So
sure, go ahead.
I just wanted to bring it out before I forget.
Yes.
Because I tend to forget stuff really quickly.
Go ahead.
So we're talking about being unfaithful. Oh my goodness.
Go ahead.
So, like my husband said, this can go so many different ways. It is not just about sex, you guys. It is not just about being unfaithful sexually.
Yeah.
I want to give you something to think about, particularly for us women and us wives. One thing that comes to mind is emotional ties. And how those emotional ties happen is when we spend too much time talking to someone of the opposite sex. And it could be over Facebook. It could be you've reconnected with an old classmate.
Wow, this is good. I ain't know all these. She's coming good because she's coming with some good stuff. I didn't even know she was gonna talk about all this. But go right ahead, dear. You flowing. Go into your flow. Go ahead, flow on.
Anyway, yeah. So back to that.
Facebook, talk about it.
Yes, you can do it by connecting, like I was saying, with someone through Facebook. You know, women slide into DMs too. It's not just men. It could start out really innocent.
Yep.
You know, hey, how you doing?
Yep.
You know, what's been going on in your life?
Yep.
You know, you catch up and do all that stuff. But then before you know it, y'all start talking about personal things and personal information between you and your spouse.
Right.
Particularly if there's an issue going on between you and your spouse.
Yep.
You tend to unveil all of that the more you talk to somebody. You start to feel comfortable, and then you just start letting it all out.
Right.
And then what happens is the male part of this starts to
Go ahead.
what's the word I want to say?
Say what you need to say.
Take advantage.
Okay.
Or
You said the male take advantage?
yeah, because he knows that the woman is vulnerable at this point.
So you don't think that she maybe?
Oh no, I'm saying it can go both ways.
Yeah,
but I'm saying when a man knows that a woman is vulnerable, then he's gonna play on that.
Yep, that's true.
You know, and try to wheel it. Well, hey, why don't we go and have lunch and let's talk about it?
That's true.
You know, that kind of thing.
Yep.
And then you think, oh, it's just an innocent lunch.
Right.
You know, and you never tell your spouse that you went out to lunch with somebody.
Right.
So by this time, it's too late because you're already emotionally tied. So that's just one of the things that I can think of off the top of my head that would destroy your marriage if it goes unchecked.
Yeah. I would say also one of the ways that, you know, being unfaithful, again, we know the obvious is having sex outside of marriage or adultery. We already know that. But another way of women, you can be unfaithful to your spouse is how you dress. And a lot of you don't think that, but there it is, an area that you need to give some serious consideration or reconsideration to, because what you have is supposed to be for your husband. It's not supposed to be for everybody else to see and everybody else to look at, especially those of you women who are well endowed or developed, or like we say in the hood, you thick. And just to be real with it, you already know areas in your body, on your body, that give more attention and more attraction than other areas. This is what the Bible talks about.
Some men like thin women.
Oh, that's fine, but either way goes, that woman's body is for that husband. But I'm saying, especially women that are voluptuous or have, you know, body parts or areas of their body that they know men look at, whether it's your behind, whether it's your breast, just be real, your butt, your breast, whatever, you already know. And especially, and there's a sermon that Pastor Albert Martin did years ago called Modesty. You need to listen to that sermon and check it out. He talks about, and he goes there with the married couples in the church and talks about how women dress. The tight-fitting clothes, you know, the low-cut blouses, or the low-cut shirts, or, you know, whatever. I mean, he talks about even, you know, the crotch area, how women, you know, show their crotch area and how they sit and things like that. You need to be very mindful of those things, because men are visual people. We look, we see things. And when you make it easy to do, then you are setting yourself up for trouble, and you're also causing other men to stumble as well. And I know some women are going to say, well, that's their problem. No, it's your problem too.
Right. It doesn't, the onus is not just on the man, it's also on the woman, because we are responsible for how we, or what we portray, I'll say that.
Yeah.
And what we're putting out there. And if we're causing our brother to stumble, then we do take some onus in that. We should.
And so it's how you present yourself. And you know, we talk about this even at home. You know what you look like before you walk out that house.
Right.
You know, you can't tell me when you get out and you go out into the public, you know, you haven't looked at a mirror, you haven't seen how you dress before you got out and got in that car and got in those streets. You know exactly what you're doing when you did it.
Yeah.
So we need to cut that out and telling people, well, you know, it ain't my problem that they got lust in their heart. Well, no, the lust is on them, but you are exciting it, and you are causing things to be aroused that is unnecessarily to be done, and that's supposed to be for your husband.
Right.
That's the point that I'm making as well. And so we have a scripture for this, because we want to kind of like give you some biblical precepts with that, and how the Bible talks about a woman who was unfaithful. And one of the ways a woman is unfaithful is how she dresses. If you're dressing to entice men other than your spouse, other than your husband, you're being unfaithful to that man. Even if you haven't even had sex with anybody. Right. It's how you carry yourself, because you represent that man. You have made a covenant with that man that you are his and he is yours. And so you don't want that to be for anybody else and anyone else's eyes to see. So in Proverbs chapter 7 verses 6 to 12, we want to look at this because we believe it is very important for us to read. So Proverbs chapter 7 rather. I'm going to start at verse 6. And actually, I'll start at verse 1. It says, "My son, keep my words and treasure my commandments within you. Keep my commandments and live, and my teaching as the apple of your eye. Bind them on your fingers, write them on the tablet of your heart. Say to wisdom, you are my sister, and call understanding your intimate friend." And here's the reason why: that they may keep you, that is wisdom, from an adulteress. And what is really wisdom? Wisdom is the application of knowledge. That's what it is. It's the how-to of the what. How do you apply this? And so God's word gives us wisdom in how we are to live. And so he says that it may keep you from the adulteress, or from an adulteress, from the foreigner who flatters with her words. Verse 6 is where we start now. It says, "Now, for out at the window of my house I looked through the lattice, and I saw among the naive and discerned among the youths a young man lacking sense." And notice, this woman is targeting a certain group of men. A young man, naive, inexperienced, green. And she's able to entice him and able to get him just by her words so far. It says, verse 8, "Passing through the street near her corner," and notice, and he takes the way to her house in the twilight, in the evening, in the middle of the night, and in the darkness. And notice what God is doing. Most of the stuff that happens at night. Happens at night. I'm not saying that adultery and sexual sin doesn't happen during the day. No, but most of the time the stuff that happens at night, it happens when you should be at home with your spouse, with your husband. That young man should be in areas that is already known, where women or prostitutes or whatever the case might be can cause him to be involved in sexual sin or to be enticed in those types of behavior. But verse 9 says, "It was in the twilight, in the evening, in the middle of the night, and in the darkness." Verse 10, "And behold, a woman comes to meet him." And here's where we talk about this unfaithfulness. "Dressed as a harlot," dressed as a whore, dressed as a prostitute, dressed as a skank, whatever you want to call it. Bottom line, how she is dressed gives off what's in her heart. Because there's harlot attire, and then there's holy attire. And when we talk about holy attire, we're not talking about you got to have a burlap bag over your whole body, and you got to have yourself fully covered to where it's, nobody even knows it's your woman. That's not the point. The point is how you are dressing. What are you giving off with how you dress and carry yourself? Because how you dress says a lot about what's in your heart.
It does. And I think a lot of us as women don't realize that, or we do realize it and just don't care.
Yeah.
And I've said this before, I've seen a lot of pictures and a lot of selfies on Facebook
from Christian women
or professing Christians.
Okay.
I'll say some professing Christians.
Or immature, disciple.
Taking pictures of their behind, turning to the back so you can actually see them from the back.
Showing
with the phone up like this.
Showing the cleavage, showing the butt, showing the thighs, all that. They even have on social media people doing what I think it's called some type of challenge, some type of
silhouette challenge.
Silhouette or thigh challenge, something like that, whatever it's called. And so you'd be amazed, and if these are women or Christian women rather, that says a lot about what's in their heart and who are discipling them, because most likely it's not no seasoned women that are discipling these women into how they are to carry themselves and how they are to govern themselves. But he says, verse 10, and behold, a woman comes to meet him dressed as a harlot. And it says, and cunning of heart. Verse 11 says, she is boisterous and rebellious, and her feet do not remain at home. That's not faithfulness. It's not faithfulness at all. She's unfaithful in her attire. She's unfaithful in how she carries herself and in her attitude. And he says her feet is not at home. She's now in the streets, now in the squares, and she lurks by every corner. Verse 13, so she seizes him and kisses him, and with a brazen face she says to him, I was due to offer peace offerings. Today I have paid my vows. Therefore I have come out to meet you, to seek your presence earnestly. Notice she's out here looking like a cougar, out there looking for somebody that's not supposed to be.
And she's using flattering words.
I've spread my couch with coverings, with colored linens of Egypt. I've sprinkled my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. I got the potpourri going. I got the fragrances in there. I got the candles all lit up. It says, verse 18, come, let us drink our fill of love unto the morning, and let us delight ourselves with caresses. For the man is not at home, for he has gone on a long journey. He has taken a bag of money with him. At full moon, he will come home. He ain't gonna be here for a while.
Right.
So notice she's already laying it out there.
Right.
This is unfaithfulness. So it starts in attitude. It starts in attire. It starts in the atmosphere that she keeps around. And it also starts with how she allures him. All of these elements speak of unfaithfulness. And so that's one of the ways that you ladies, wives, can tear down your household by how you carry yourself. Unfaithfulness.
Let me add something, because you mentioned in the verse previously about her feet are not home.
Right.
So ladies, if you have single friends that always want you to be out with them and hanging out with them and going to the club with them and all these types of things, you might want to rethink your company.
Right.
And who you're hanging around.
Right.
Because I guarantee you, your husband's gonna get tired of you always hanging around your single friends.
That's right.
And what they're doing, they're out looking for somebody. You already have somebody.
Right.
So your time should be spent at home with your spouse, not out at the club or out, constantly. I'm not saying you can't ever go out with your friends. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that should not be a habit of your life.
Right.
On a regular basis.
Right. And one of the scriptures you can use for that, what you was mentioning there, I was maybe in 1 Corinthians 15:33. Do not be deceived. Bad company corrupts good character or good morals. And so you need to remember that you are the company that you keep. And also the Bible says, he who walks with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools suffer harm.
Suffers harm. Yep.
So you are the company that you keep, ladies and gentlemen. So you need to be mindful and be watchful of that. That you hanging around people that aren't married, don't desire to be married, don't care about marriage, but they're your friends. You need to find some more friends with that. So I think we hung on that one a little bit, but that's fine. I think we needed to hit that a little bit hard. So unfaithfulness, be unfaithful. Yeah. Number 8.
Number 8 is be unkept. Be unkept.
Okay, we're gonna see how this one goes.
So.
Okay now. All right.
I think we kind of touched on this before in one of our other videos.
Okay.
Y'all have to go back and find that video. But we talked about how we keep ourselves and how we maintain our outer appearance for our husbands. Not only what we wear, but also I guess, how our hair looks, what our
your appearance.
Yeah, your appearance overall.
Like, yeah, I mean,
you know,
how were you when you met him? Is the way he wants you to remain if you're trying to keep him. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
That's true.
I'm not saying he got. I'm not saying I'm not justifying anybody tipping out, but I am saying this. He didn't meet you looking busted. Okay. He don't want you staying with him looking busted.
Right.
Okay. So keep yourself up to the best ability that you can. I understand some of you may have had kids. We've had children. And one of the things I try to encourage my wife to do is make sure that she keeps herself fit, make sure that she works out whenever she can, things of that nature. Give her the resources that she needs in order to make those things, I guess you can say, to be accomplished. Reasonable goals, right?
Yeah.
Not saying that, she needs to be looking like some runway model, whatever, however picture you want to use. But bottom line, ladies, you met that man with the figure and shape that you had. Do your best to keep yourself up, whether it be your health. That's another thing. I think health is very important.
Yeah. Hugely
important, because if you're letting yourself go in your health, it's going to affect everything else.
Right.
I mean, it just is. So, proper exercise, diet. Like right now, our diet has changed, and
probably
my wife.
Again.
Okay. Well. Yeah, I mean, because we can do better, but I think we've come a
long way.
We still have our snacks now. We still got the snacks, but I think the meat department, she's basically changed that stuff up to where it's like, beef. If I get a good steak, I'm like birthday, she give me a steak. Things like that, or I basically gotta try to smuggle a steak in here.
Father's Day, get a steak.
That kind of thing. but nonetheless, it's all a part of us changing our diet. And so again, ladies, we want to encourage you, particularly wives, since this is your video. Keep yourselves up, keep yourselves fit, because again, it's not about men acting as though, well, if you don't do that, I'm leaving. No, it's not that. You should want to make sure that you are doing what you need to do to make sure that man is doing what he's supposed to do. And that is, his eyes are supposed to be on you. Right. And yes, we look and all those kind of things, but we want to make sure that, hey, when I come home, my wife already know I'm already gawking at her. All the time. I mean, she walked past me, she already know what I'm looking at. All the time. The train of her glory it just passes by me. I mean, all of that. The hills and her mountains and all of those things. I see all of those things, and I enjoy the view.
Am I keeping myself up?
Yes, you're keeping yourself up. But I also tell her, I bought her that treadmill. That treadmill was very expensive. I want her to make good out of it. So what do I do during the course of the week? Well, let's be honest. What do I tell them? What do I tell you during the course of the week?
Me, have I been on it?
And when she said that she hasn't, what do I say?
You need to be consistent.
That's it. It's about consistency, ladies. It's about consistency. How do you chop down a tree? One whack at a time. That's how you do it. You stay consistent. You and understand, some of you work. My wife works as well. So you have to have a schedule. And you leave room for things that may occur that are unexpected. But be consistent. I believe that whatever we want to do, we're going to do whatever it takes to get it done. And that's one of the things. So, Proverbs chapter 31. Proverbs 31. A lot of women always say they're Proverbs 31 women. Okay, fine. One of the ways that Proverbs 31 woman was recognized as virtuous is how she kept herself up. And not just physically, but how she kept her home together as well, too. Proverbs 31, verse 17. The Bible says, she girds herself with strength and makes her arms strong. She senses that her gain is good. Her lamp does not go out at night. Says that, verse 21. She's not afraid of the snow. For all of her household are clothed with scarlet. She makes coverings for herself. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. Notice this woman basically takes care of herself, because she can't take care of herself. She can't take care of those that are around her and those that she cares for. So she's consistent. She's making sure that she keeps herself together. She's making sure that her family is kept together and are clothed and have what they need. Mm-hmm. So you keep yourself up, keep your house up. I mean, you know, no man wants to come home to a dirty house. No real man I know, unless he's a slob. If he's a slob, then that pretty much sets the tone for everything else in the house. So keep yourself up, keep your home up. Those things I believe are definitely important in a marriage. It really is. Mm-hmm. If your house is stinking, come on, y'all. Listen, I don't know. Have you ever been in anybody's house that smell like?
Oh my goodness.
That smell like roaches.
I don't know what roaches smell like.
If you've seen a whole bunch of roaches in the house, they got like a smell.
Well, I guess.
And in the comments, y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah. You don't want nothing. You don't want something to drink? Nope. My mouth can be dry as powder. No. I'm good now. You know, I had something already. I'm good, fine, thank you. And you're trying to hold your breath because you're trying to get up out of that environment. Seriously.
Yeah, if something don't crawl on you.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, you know when you walk into a woman's house, within the first 5 seconds, based on the smell of that house, how that woman keeps herself up. I'm gonna be real with y'all. No man wants to be in a funky house. No man wants to be in an unkept house. No man wants to be around anything that is untidy. And I'm talking about a pattern. I'm not talking about these one time where you know things. No, I'm talking about you don't really care to keep yourself up or the things that have been entrusted in your care. Because again, you are a steward of your body. You are a steward of your household and those things that have been given to you to maintain and to keep. So just wanted to put that out there. What you got? Anything else you want to add on that?
Not on that one.
Not on that one. You want to cover one more?
I don't know if we can.
You don't know we can? Ooh, we're kind of cutting it. Yeah. Okay, so this is part 3. We only covered one topic because this stuff is good.
Sure we did 2.
We did 2? Oh yeah, we did 7 and 8. This is 7 and 8.
I know, but I'm saying you saying part 3. When did we do 2?
Dear.
Huh?
Really?
I thought
this is part 3. We're on part 3 of our video. We're on part 3 of our videos.
But what was part 1 then?
Maybe you need to watch the videos there.
No, I'm asking because I thought we didn't cover 1 through 7 on the first one.
Dear, we covered 1 through 4.
I thought we did all of that.
No.
Oh, we stopped on 4 and then picked up on.
Yes,
oh, okay.
Yes, that was part 2. We're on part 3 right now, dear. This is part 3. I mean, even the people know this is part 3.
Okay.
This is part 3. That's why I'm keeping count.
So there's gonna be a part 4 then.
Yeah, it's gonna be a part 4 because we have to stop here. So but we did cover 7 and 8. Yeah, we covered 7 and 8. So number 7 was be unfaithful, and number 8 is be unkept. So that's what we covered.
So that means you guys, you're gonna have to stay tuned.
Yeah.
For part 4.
Hopefully, my wife, when she does part 4, she won't ask us what part are we on. You will probably have to tell her in the comments. Miss Sharon and Natasha Monique Gaines, if you're watching this video, maybe you can help your friend Miss Sharon. Help her to make sure that she remembers what video and series we're doing. Okay, since you like to be her assistant, and because if I messed up, you would have got on me. That don't make no sense. You should know what video, what series he was on. That's how our friend Miss Natasha Gaines talks.
She'll get you from mocking her
that's
too.
Okay. That's okay. Yeah, listen, if y'all had a conversation with her, y'all know I'm not lying. You'll be laughing right along with me. But anyway, we're gonna end it right here. Thank you for watching this video. Leave a comment at the bottom of this video. Let us know what you think about these 2 points that we talked about here. Also share this information, share the video as well. Again, also, if you'd like to reach out to us, our email information is at the bottom of the screen. If you like to purchase the BCV gear, you see that as well on the bottom of the screen. Support the ministry financially. Those payment options are at the bottom of the screen as well. That is our time. We thank you for yours.
Come back to part 4.
Next time, part 4 coming up. Bye.